Hey, so this year we've had a movie about a toxic waste mutant with a cover-up subplot in the Being, an aquatic monster movie where not a lot actually happens, and Island Claws. Here's something like what happens when you mash the two of those together but still don't manage to leave the early 1980s or the realm of Jaws worked, so let's just do Jaws again plot structure. Monstroid. An American-produced, Colombia-set, shot in Mexico and Colombia lake monster movie, alternately known as Monster. It came from the lake and the toxic horror, and if I'm being honest, I probably watched as a kid, maybe because I thought the title had something to do with that one bad guy toy from He-Man.
Monstroid. When Monstroid gets wound up, it grabs, it lurches, it spins.
I'll stop it!
Monstroid.
Got it!
New from the Masters of the Universe. You put it together, action figures sold separately from Mattel.
Which, when they eventually put it in the cartoons in the Christmas special, got totally redesigned into like bootleg He-Man branded Transformers, I want to say.
Monstroids! Monstroids! Attack the intruders!
Keep your claws to yourself. Sorry to get you all tied up.
Yeah, look, this is another one where there's just not a lot going on in the movie, so we're gonna have to stretch a little, alright? So, our setup here is there's a lake in Colombia that's got a Monstroid in it, and presumably a Monstroid is distinct from a monster enough that we'll want to stick around and see what the hell it is, because they're gonna do the Jaws thing, and only show it intermittently for a while. Anyway, the Monstroid is eating the local villagers, many of whom are blaming pollution caused by an American cement factory because, I guess they didn't have a Monstroid in the lake before the factory, but now the factory is there, and now they've got a Monstroid, so I guess I've seen worse logic in movies like this.
It's up to us to drive this evil from your town, so that our country may live in peace.
Carlos and his friends are with you, Vigo.
But it is you who must put an end to these evil doings.
Also, they decide this village woman named Maria is a witch, and it might also be her fault, which kind of seems like hedging their bets a little, but that's at least 2 layers of intrigue to space the running time out.
This is a slide of Maria Rejas, the year her husband was killed. Now, she maintains that a large animal climbed out of a tree and killed him at night. She called it a monster. Now, this is where I think our trouble is. This is Victor Sanchez. He's been raising hell all over South America with his anti-American and anti-big business bullshit. Now, I think he is our problem. He's been spreading stories about the witch and the monster, stirring up the natives to get them to get us out of the country. Now, you and I don't believe in that monster crap, but Sanchez sure as hell is using it. Now, every animal that's dead, every person that's missing, is killed by some monster, according to Sanchez.
Everybody got that? Good!
James, son of Robert Mitchum, is our protagonist, an investigator hired by the company to figure out what the hell is going on vis-a-vis, is there in fact a Monstroid in the lake? Can we quietly get out of this without the angry locals resorting to literally bombing us? And even more ideally, can we avoid maybe a burning that lady accused of witchcraft at the stake scenario? Since the movie is trying to be moderately exciting, the answers there are respectively yes, no, and definitely no. Oh, and since every movie like this not only knows that you've seen Jaws and you'd be kind of disappointed if it didn't do every single Jaws thing, yes, it is in fact the village's 200th anniversary and they're going to be doing a big party, which means they can't just evacuate everyone and deprive the Monstroid of potential victims, or the non-Monstroid scenes of crowded interpersonal drama. John Carradine is here too, because I assume no one told him not to be here, and you don't get 350 credited appearances by saying no just because the job offer was for Monstroid.
He watches over us. He shall protect us from the foreign intruders who pollute our skies and our waters. He commands us to return to the soil, his pure, unpolluted soil, his cool and sustaining waters, which Satan has plucked from us with his creature of evil. You must cleanse your sinful souls and drive out these evil creatures.
But okay, how does the Monstroid look when it eventually shows up?
Believe it.
I mean, pretty underwhelming, if we're being honest. Like, when it comes to Western-made lake monster movies of this type, you're grading on a curve because you've either got the Crater Lake Monster, which came out 3 whole years before this, and may not exactly be a great film in its own right, but has excellent micro-budget stop-motion creature effects from William Strongberg, David Allen, and Phil Tippett. Same year Tippett was working on Star Wars. And then on the other end, you've got something like Larry Buchanan's Loch Ness Horror, where it looks like people are being attacked by like a theme park puppet. The Monstroid, at least I guess, looks like they tried to make a scary-looking puppet, but it's used exactly like you expect it to be when you go in knowing the 2-word plot description of lake monster. Someone's gonna poke the puppet head up out of the water and go, "Blah, there's totally much more monster under here, honest," because that level of budget control is the reason to make a lake monster movie instead of some other type of monster movie. A lot of people are afraid of stuff underwater conceptually, and water hides that you can't afford more monster. It's kind of the whole point here. On the other hand, I think that might be why otherwise forgettable Jaws ripoffs like this are memorable to monster movie kids like I was at the time. It's really easy to watch a movie like this and think, well, shoot, if I could get a rubber mask on a stick down to the lake, my friends and I could make this, which, you know, isn't exactly true, but it feels true when you see it. And if you watch something like this surfing around on late night TV or pick it up from the video store when absolutely everything else is out and you get to the point where the monster head is poking up out of the water, you do get the effect of, oh, hey, that looks kind of like a sea monster, I guess. That's something, which is the minimum delivery to which Monstroid aspires to.
Amen.
And I imagine the nighttime scenes probably work the similar level of bare minimum to people who have that whole underwater puppet phobia. I feel like no one knew was a thing until a couple of years ago, and now it's everywhere. And yeah, that right there is Monstroid. Pretty much to the degree that the word Monstroid is minimally fun to say. There it is. Monstroid. This has been Monstroid on Schlocktober.